Hey guys, it's Julia. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my favorite fall makeup products. So right now I have this big basket of my favorite autumn makeup products on my lap right now. Basically, these are just products where I think the colors really work for the theme of fall. It's mostly eyeshadow palettes, but there are some like lip colors I think are really nice, a couple highlighters in there as well. It is like the end of October as I'm filming this right now, and it's supposed to be fall here in California, but it's literally 100 degrees. We don't really get fall weather. Like I'd say around December to January is when it gets a little bit colder around here, and by colder I mean like 70 and below. So yeah, that's kind of the sad California winter experience, but hey, that's all we got. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk you guys through some of my favorite fall makeup products. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get right into it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I'm wearing this like red velvet off the shoulder situation. I really like it. I will link all the outfit details down below. I think this is actually from last year, just recycling clothes. And of course the makeup look will be on my Instagram. I post all my makeup looks on Instagram. Follow me at Julia C. Mazzucato. My ex just unfollowed me. You should do the opposite. So yeah, let's get right into the video now. Alright, my first favorite of fall is actually a palette that I consider to be one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. It kind of alternates between this and the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, between my favorite eyeshadow palette in my entire collection. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. I've talked about this so many times on my channel, you guys are probably tired of hearing about it. But this is seriously one of the best eyeshadow palettes to be ever like created. Yeah, what I kind of look for in fall makeup is pretty much this look right here, like vampy lip tones or like browns and oranges and stuff like that. Like really nice, warm, rich lip shades, and then very pigmented, like kind of fall toned eye shades. So like reds, berries, burgundies, yellows even. Obviously the Modern Renaissance kind of ticks a lot of those categories. You've got the berry tone shades here, pretty similar to what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I'm actually wearing a palette that I'm going to mention later on in this video. Yeah, you've got Venetian Red and Love Letter, two really beautiful berry tone looks. You've also got Red Ochre, which is a more of a true red. Then of course you've got the oranges, Realgar, very rich pigmented orange shade, Burnt Orange and Rust Sienna. You got Golden Ochre, most beautiful transition shade ever, I think. Overall, you got neutrals, oranges, berries. This is a really versatile palette. You can create so many looks with it. Probably one of the best eyeshadow formulas I've ever tried out in my life. They're very soft and pigmented, but they blend like a dream. Every single time I try this again, I'm reminded of how much I love it. So yeah, Modern Renaissance is pretty much a favorite throughout the year, but I really love it, especially now. So if you're wanting a palette that's pretty much the warm tone lover's dream, go for this one. While I do love those like romantic warm toned reds and berries and stuff, there's also kind of an edgier side to fall makeup that I really like as well. So this is that edgier side. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. As you can see, very similar looking to the Modern Renaissance. They're actually sister palettes. So this one was kind of meant to be like a complement to this palette. These are kind of the edgier nighttime shades. So there was a lot of controversy surrounding this palette. The formula can be a little bit hard to work with. I do believe it was formulated more for pro makeup artists. If you're like willing to work delicately with it, just go in very lightly with your brush and just take your time blending out stuff. It's a really beautiful palette. These are kind of edgier shades. Of course, you've got All Star here, really beautiful burgundy. This is actually the one shade in the palette that I did have some problems with. I thought that it was a little bit harder to blend out because it's super pigmented, and also it does oxidize if you're not wearing a eyeshadow primer. So I would definitely recommend putting down a good base before you go into the shade here. You've also got some really nice mustardy yellows, Edge and U-Wave, really stunning to create like a nice halo of warmth around the eyes. And then of course you've got some really beautiful jewel tone shades in here. So you've got the blues, the olive green is one of my favorite shades as well. And I really like the kind of dark, almost like black purple shade here called Rowdy. I'm absolutely in love with the shade here called Adorn. It's like a copper, very foiled shimmer shade. It's one of the most beautiful shimmer shades I've ever worked with. You do need to use your fingers for the shimmers and the duochromes in here. I don't personally have an issue with that. I don't really mind using my fingers with an eyeshadow palette, but I do know that there are a lot of people out there who don't want to use their fingers. So maybe skip out on this palette if you don't want to do that. Overall, while the formula can be a little bit finicky, I think that I've pretty much gotten the hang of it. I always go into my eyeshadow palettes with a very light touch. As difficult as the formula might be sometimes, I am willing to work with it for the beautiful colors in here and the amazing pigmentation. So my recommendation would be, if you're attracted to these colors and you want to try it out, go to Sephora, like just try swatching the palette, see if you like the formula. If you don't really like it at all, I'd say skip it, but yeah. Really beautiful palette. They really do complement each other, and I think these are pretty much the two quintessential sides of fall that I like to do. Alright, so next up, I actually have a very affordable product. Anastasia is definitely a high-end brand, but this is one of the most inexpensive brands at the drugstore. Here I have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Gold Bar. This is actually the first Wet n Wild highlighter I've ever tried. I'm pretty new to Wet n Wild. I do like their foundation. I'm wearing that today. This is a limited edition new product, I believe. I think this is actually something they released a couple years ago, but they brought it back because it was super popular. Either way, it's a really, really beautiful gold highlight. I'm actually, I'm wearing highlight on my face today, so I'm just gonna, yeah. See? That's really, really. So this is absolutely stunning. I really do kind of turn to more warm toned highlighting shades. During summer, I kind of go for like the icy, like white, even blue, like colorful highlights. But now in fall, I kind of turn to like more champagne, gold, warmer highlights. I think this is a really, really beautiful one. It's not super glittery. I don't really like glittery highlights unless it's the Anastasia glow kits. I find that those are perfectly glittery, but they don't emphasize texture on your face. This one is more of like a nice sheen on your face, but it's not subtle by any means. As you can see, it's like poppin'. So it's a really beautiful highlight. It's pigmented. It doesn't wear off throughout the day, so you don't have to worry about this. I would use setting spray, but I pretty much use setting spray anyways. So, and I normally like hate packaging like this, like the cheap plastic clear cover packaging, but for this one I don't really seem to mind it because it's like more of a thick highlighting packaging, so I feel like it's not like gonna break at any second. So this I think is $3.99. I found it at Rite Aid. You can probably find it at like CVS, anywhere that sells Wet n Wild, I guess. So yeah, Wet n Wild is one of my favorite brands. It's cruelty free as always, of course. And yeah, I really like this highlighter and it's a great affordable option. Right, next up I have another set of very inexpensive products. These are from Colourpop. So here I have the Super Shock shadows. I have Paradox and Melrose. I have a lot of these Super Shock shadows, but these are just two of my favorite colors for fall. So Paradox is a nice matte cranberry red. I know a lot of people don't really like the matte Super Shock shadows. People prefer the shimmery shades. I do think the shimmery shades are better, but I do like the mattes a lot. They're very pigmented. So here is a swatch of Paradox. And then the other one I have is Melrose. This I think is from Karrueche's collaboration with Colourpop. It's like a nice warm, super warm saddle brown. It's almost like orangey brown, but it's really, really beautiful. I think it's a really nice color for all year round, but especially now it's kind of like a pumpkin spice brown. So the Super Shock shadows, you do have to apply them with your finger. I know a lot of people don't really like to do that. I wish I could use them with a brush, but they go on so much better with the finger. So you have like oils on your finger, of course, like natural oils from your body, and they kind of help to warm up the eyeshadow and help you get more pigmentation. So if you're not really wanting to work with your fingers when you go into shadows, I would recommend skipping out on these and picking up the pressed powder shadows instead. However, I do think these are two absolutely stunning fall colors. You have to make sure that you are closing the cap really tightly because I have noticed that they do dry out. Same can be said with the shimmers, but overall, really beautiful, very pigmented, and definitely worth it. Is that a chicken? What? Have you not seen that vine? You've never seen that? Is that a chicken vine? No. Oh, that's an iconic vine. Okay. Oh my God.
Kylie Jenner to the foyer. I have a little surprise for you.
Is that a chicken? Alright, so my next fall favorite is another eyeshadow palette. I have 6 eyeshadow palettes in this video. So yeah, this is my next eyeshadow palette. This is the Morphe 25B. So I know I actually included this in my September regrets for my like September favorites and regrets video. I did regret buying this because look at it, it's all browns. I didn't really necessarily need this in my collection, but it is a very, very good eyeshadow palette. I've actually been putting this to good use. I'm very proud of myself, and now I don't necessarily regret it so much anymore. An absolutely stunning palette. I think the quality of these shadows is a lot better than like the typical Morphe 35O. Not as good as the Morphe Jaclyn Hill by any means, but still really, really good quality. The reason I'm so into this are these beautiful, beautiful burgundy shades down here. So stunning. They blend really, really well as well. I've seen a lot of really nice looks coming out of the Morphe Instagram using this palette. It's definitely a great fall-oriented palette. You also have this nice row of shimmers here. Really, really beautiful for all over the lid. I mean, you've got your cool tone browns, you've got your warm tone browns, you've pretty much got everything you need in here. So I think it's a really, really nice palette. I've actually been using the cool tone browns to do my nose contour sometimes because I don't really use cool tone shades on my eyes all that often. But yeah, I really like this palette. I have been putting it to good use and I don't really regret buying it anymore. So that just kind of goes to show that your opinions can change on certain products. I've really been liking this and I would definitely recommend it to everyone, especially because it's only $18. I think this is a steal for the amazing quality of this eyeshadow palette. Alright, so next up I have something from e.l.f. This is a e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzer duo in the shade St. Lucia. So, as you can see, I've actually shown this a lot in my videos. I have used this up a ton. This is actually a pretty old set for me. In my opinion, a perfect dupe for the Nars Orgasm blush, the cult favorite blush that everyone loves. The reason I say that is, first of all, it's a really nice peachy pink shade. That's pretty much the hallmark of the Orgasm blush, but also it's got some really nice gold flecks in it. So basically the same thing as the Orgasm blush. It's a nice amount of pigmentation. You don't want a super, super pigmented blush. Then it's just gonna look like bam, color on your face and it's hard to blend out. So I'm actually wearing this on my face today. In summer, I tend to go for more like a matte blush because I don't really want shine on my face during summer. But now when it's like the colder seasons, I do like having a little bit of like luminosity on my face just to kind of give that nice healthy glow. And I think this blush is an absolute godsend for that. It's so, so stunning. And also this little compact here, I think it's only $4, $3 or $4, I'm not really sure. But yeah, overall, really, really love this. I'm really impressed with e.l.f. because they can create such amazing quality things at such a low price. And now I'm gonna jump from that like $4 e.l.f. blush into a $48 foundation. Yeah, this is my favorite foundation of all time, but I especially love it for the colder months because here I have the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I have two shades, I have Bisque and Shell, and you know I love a product when I have two different shades of it. These are an expensive foundation. I do like to spend a little bit more money on like eyeshadow palettes and foundation because I find them to be a little better quality than the ones at the drugstore. However, I do, if you want like a really nice affordable foundation, I would go for the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. These are my favorite foundation in the world. It's true that I love these all year round. They're pretty much just my ride or die foundation regardless of the season, but I think they are really great for fall. I think the finish is absolutely stunning. They are very full coverage, but they're not super, super matte. I don't like having a super matte foundation on my face. I think these dry down to like the most beautiful, like velvety finish. And I think that's a really, really nice look for fall. Also have a really nice lasting power and a great shade range. Definitely not as extensive as the Fenty Beauty foundation, but I still think they do go from like a very light shade up to a really nice deeper shade as well. So Hourglass is one of my favorite cosmetic brands. These are my favorite foundations of all time, and I think a really nice essential product for fall. All right, so next up, behold the most expensive eyeshadow palette I've ever bought. Huda Beauty Desert Dust Palette. So this is a very pricey eyeshadow palette. It's a new release, $65 at Sephora. But it's so stunning. First of all, the packaging is just like, yeah, beautiful. Last video I actually uploaded was a tutorial using this. So yeah, it's a really, really beautiful palette. I've been loving this a lot. As you can see, kind of going along in the same vein of like really nice warm tone shades. You do have like the reds and the burgundies here. Saffron and Oud are two of my favorite shades in here. You've also got the really beautiful Cosmo pressed glitter. And things that stood out to me in here were the purples. I'm in love with this like row here. Amethyst, not as pigmented as I was hoping it would be. I think it's kind of a letdown because I was expecting that to be exactly how it is in the pan on my eyes, but it doesn't really translate the same way. However, Royal, absolutely stunning, totally makes up for it. The duochrome here called Twilight, beautiful. It's like a lavender duochrome. I actually use this on my eyes in the Instagram look. I love it so much. And then Retrograde here kind of is a duochrome between like goldish, greenish, reddish, and purple. I don't even know how she does it. Absolutely stunning palette. The mattes are a bit of like a drier formula, but they're very pigmented and they blend very well. So overall, I absolutely love this palette. I think it was worth the money. If it didn't have the beautiful duochromes and the shimmers in there, I would probably say I would just skip out on it because I don't find the mattes to be the best formula in the world. I would say that would definitely have to go to Anastasia Modern Renaissance. But the shimmers in here just make it such a unique and beautiful palette. I think she really knocked it out of the park with this one. And I'm definitely going to be using this all fall, all winter, all year, all life. It's a really, really beautiful palette. Alright, next up I wanted to get into some of my favorite fall lip shades. So first of all, I'm going to mention what's on my lips right now. This is one of my favorite colors. This is from Ofra. It is the Ofra Liquid Lipstick in the shade Hypno. This is actually from the collab with Many MUA. As you can see, it's a really nice, like deepened red, warm burgundy shade. I kind of wanted to go for like a cranberry look with like the eyeshadow, the lips, and the dress, and of course the background. Ofra has one of the most amazing formulas of liquid lipstick I've ever tried. I've kind of been veering away from like matte liquid lipsticks in general. This is actually probably one of the only matte liquid lipsticks I can still wear because I have really bad allergic reactions to a lot of lip products. If I wear something that's super, super drying, that just kind of exacerbates the problem. I've kind of been veering away from matte liquid lipsticks and going into more like satin finishes, so I really love the Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip. I actually applied this like an hour and a half ago. It feels really nice on the lips. Not fully transfer proof, as you can see there's like a tiny bit of lipstick there. But then again, that's like a small price to pay for the amount of comfort you get with this product. Another thing I find with dark shades that can be a little bit like streaky, or like it won't apply as like pigmented all over the lips, so it's kind of patchy. But this one, I don't find patchiness to be a problem. I think Ofra really knocks it out of the park with their formulas. Yeah, this is one of my favorite fall colors. I would definitely recommend picking this up, especially because Ofra is now at Ulta, so you can pick up this shade at Ulta. Another fall liquid lipstick. This is also probably the only other matte formula that I can still wear at this point. Here I have the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick. I could wear this all day, even though it is a really nice matte transfer-proof finish. It doesn't dry out my lips at all. I also love the shape of these. They fit perfectly into the little acrylic liquid lipstick organizer that I have, so it's just really satisfying to me. But the shade here is really what the most unique part of this liquid lipstick is. The shade is called Out Loud. I have never found like a beautiful pumpkin spice matte orange liquid lipstick like this one. I think this is a color that a lot of people really overlook. It's like the perfect mix between like a brown and a red and just like a really nice true orange. It's not super bright to a point where you can't wear it, but it's just a very versatile, beautiful color. I think a lot of people could pull this off. Beautiful color, and the formula is amazing. Pretty pricey, $24, which is a little bit more expensive for like a liquid lipstick, especially from a high-end brand. But yeah, really, really beautiful formula. Gorgeous color. Definitely would recommend this. All right, next up I want to talk about the eyeshadow I'm wearing on my eyes today. This is the Too Faced Just Peachy Matte palette. I did do a video duping this with the e.l.f. Matte for Matte 2. So if you like those shades and you want to try out something with pretty much the entire like left half of this palette here, the only shade it doesn't really have is this like peach sangria shade, but you could totally just get the e.l.f. palette and then use the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow and Paradox if you wanted to get the same looks with this one. A lot of these products are probably going to be in my yearly favorites, but this one is definitely getting a spot in there. This is $45, it's a new release, and I was so impressed with this. I know that Too Faced has kind of been on a losing streak with a lot of their products. People haven't really been liking some of their new releases. For example, I think people didn't really like the Natural Love palette. I do have that one. I don't mind it, but I don't think it's a really great palette. And I know people didn't really like the Glitter Bomb palette either. This one, however, I think is kind of Too Faced's like redemption, saving grace. The entire like Just Peachy collection turned out to be pretty much a hit overall, but I think this one here is really a home run. The shadows are really pigmented, very soft and blendable, and they smell so good. That's kind of like a superficial thing, but still, really, really amazing palette. I think the packaging is stunning. They really do put a lot of thought and beauty into the packaging, and I really appreciate that. Like even the little clasp here, those are tiny, tiny peaches. Just so extra, I love it. Overall, I'm very impressed with this. I don't regret buying this at all. It's really a beautiful palette, and Too Faced, you're back on my list again. I have one more fall lip color that I really love. This one is from Colourpop, and this is a Colourpop Lippie Stix. This is the shade Taurus by Kathleen Lights. It is the most stunning warm brown shade I've ever tried in my life. Again, this is a matte lipstick, but I can still wear it because it is in the form of a bullet, and I don't find this to be drying at all. While it does dry down to a nice matte finish, it doesn't feel like parched on the lips. It stays looking beautiful all day. It doesn't slip around. It's really easy to get nice, precise lines with this lipstick. And it is one of the most versatile shades ever. What I find fun about this shade is that it kind of looks different on different people. For example, on Kathleen, it looks very dark and like brown. Even though I'm kind of the same shade as Kathleen, she does have different undertones, so it kind of looks like darker and vampier and brown on her. On me, it kind of just looks like a warm, like mid-tone, neutral yellowish brown. And then on darker skin tones, this would be an absolutely stunning nude. Overall, really amazing formula. I love the Colourpop Lippie Sticks. I'm actually going to place like a huge order to kind of replace some of the liquid lipsticks I can't really use anymore. And overall, absolutely stunning fall color. I think Kathleen did a really great job picking out the color for this one. And yeah, I love this. Right, so the last fall makeup product I wanted to mention was a really expensive palette that I do think is worth it. This is from Natasha Denona. This is from Natasha Denona. I do have one palette from them. I really do want to get the Star palette. I don't know. If anyone has tried that one out, please let me know. Do you think it's worth the money? I don't know. This one I have is the Eyeshadow Palette 5 in Palette 04. So it has Aura, Cool Bronze, Oxide, Cool Plum, and Moonstone. So yeah, this is stunning. The matte brown in here, it's a really, really good matte brown. Very pigmented, very blendable. I wouldn't expect anything less. I don't think it's like super special to the point of being like, oh my gosh, it's the best eyeshadow I've ever tried in my life. But it's a really, really nice matte brown. The reason I think that this is so impressive is the shimmers in here are literally the most beautiful shimmer shades I've ever tried in my life. They are super foiled. I think these are amazing for doing like Instagram makeup because you can really see the shimmer particles in there, and it's just so blinding, so beautiful. They stay on your eyes all day. I think the shimmer shades in here are probably the best shimmers I've ever tried in my life. And I don't like the packaging at all. It's like $48 for like a cheap plasticky packaging. They could at least do something like, I don't know, I would definitely like something cardboard like this one, like the Huda Beauty palette. I think just a lot more expensive feeling and a lot nicer than just like a cheap plastic packaging like this one. However, the shadows in here are just amazing. So I love this palette. I cannot wait to pick up more stuff from Natasha Denona. I've tried some of their lip stuff and their foundation. I didn't really like the foundation. I do love Natasha Denona, and I really, really, really want to pick up some more eyeshadows from her. So that concludes my favorite fall makeup products. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below what your favorite fall makeup products are. I definitely want to see what you guys have been liking, and I want to try out your stuff. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And if you made it to the very end of this video, I love you. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Bye. Oh, you're going to take a nap?
Yeah.
Fun. The camera was rolling the whole time. I might use some of that.
Great.
Yeah. Love you. Wow, thanks.